What if one of the Bears' biggest wins of the season actually exposed their biggest weakness? An overtime thriller. A statement victory. A locker room buzzing after another late-game comeback. And yet, as Soldier Field celebrated, head coach Ben Johnson had only one thing on his mind, and it wasn't the score. Welcome to NFL SnapWire. Let's break it down. The Chicago Bears didn't just win a football game in Week 16 of the 2025 season, they survived one. Down 7 late, backed up against the clock, and facing a familiar rival, the Bears dug deep, erased the deficit in the final 2 minutes, and outlasted the Green Bay Packers in overtime to secure their 11th win of the year. It was dramatic. It was emotional. And it reinforced why this Bears team has become one of the most dangerous late-game squads in the NFL. But beneath the celebration, Ben Johnson wasn't smiling. Instead, the Bears head coach used the moment to issue a blunt warning, one aimed directly at his own locker room. On paper, the Bears' comeback looked heroic. They recovered an onside kick. They forced a crucial stop on 4th and 1 in overtime. They delivered when it mattered most. But Johnson couldn't overlook what almost cost them the game. What I wasn't happy with here today were the number of penalties we had, Johnson admitted after the game. We had a couple of those, 15-yard variety, that I thought we could have done a better job just making sure we didn't commit those. That wasn't coach speak. That was frustration. Chicago racked up 10 penalties for 105 yards, repeatedly gifting the Packers free field position and stalling their own momentum. Meanwhile, Green Bay was flagged just 4 times for 40 yards. In a game decided by razor-thin margins, that difference nearly flipped the outcome. The numbers tell a worrying story. The penalty problem wasn't just a one-game blip, it was a regression. Before Week 16, the Bears averaged 7.1 penalties per game, ranking 23rd in the league, and 57.2 penalty yards, ranking 24th. That's not playoff caliber discipline. However, there was real progress late in the season. From weeks 13 to 15, Chicago cleaned things up dramatically, dropping to just 4 penalties per game and 25.7 penalty yards, both top 3 marks in the NFL. That discipline had become part of their identity, especially in the fourth quarter. And that's exactly why Johnson was bothered. Because in a game that demanded composure, the Bears briefly lost it. For Ben Johnson, penalties aren't just about yards. They're about rhythm. Every hold, every false start, every unnecessary roughness penalty disrupts time of possession. It short-circuits drives. It forces longer third downs. It keeps your defense on the field longer than planned. In close games, especially against division rivals, that's a recipe for disaster. Johnson knows this Bears team wins by playing to its strengths, physical defense, explosive offense, and clean execution late. When the discipline slips, everything else gets harder. And yet, despite the mistakes, the Bears still found a way. That's what makes this win both impressive and concerning. With just 24 seconds left in regulation, the entire stadium held its breath. Receiver Jody Walker dove forward and secured a clutch catch to put the Bears in scoring position. The touchdown followed. The deficit was erased. Now came the decision that would define the night. Go for 2, and the win, or kick the extra point and take your chances in overtime. All eyes turned to Ben Johnson. Johnson didn't hesitate afterward in explaining his thinking. 2-point conversion success is under 50%, he said. And I thought we had a better than 50% chance to win it in overtime. That decision wasn't conservative, it was calculated. The Bears have built a reputation in 2025 as one of the best late-game teams in the league. Before this game, they had already won 6 games when trailing in the final 2 minutes, setting a new NFL record for a single regular season. Johnson understood the stakes. If they went for 2 and failed, the game was over. No second chance. No overtime heroics. By tying it, he trusted his defense, his quarterback, and his team's resilience. It was a gamble, but one rooted in confidence. The Bears didn't stumble into overtime wins this season, they earned them. They've shown an uncanny ability to stay calm when chaos hits. They don't panic. They don't rush. They don't unravel. Johnson has cultivated a team that believes it will win if given one more possession. And that belief paid off again. Chicago's defense delivered a massive stop on 4th and 1 in overtime, flipping momentum instantly. Suddenly, the Bears had the ball and a chance to end it. Then came the moment Soldier Field will remember. Quarterback Caleb Williams dropped back and launched a deep strike. Receiver DJ Moore beat the coverage, fought through a tackle attempt from cornerback Kayshawn Nixon, and hauled in a 46-yard touchdown in the end zone. Game over. The sideline exploded. Coaches hugged. Players sprinted onto the field. Another comeback was complete. It was the perfect ending, at least on the surface. Most coaches would focus on the celebration. Johnson focused on the lesson. This Bears team didn't win because it played perfectly. It won because it overcame its own mistakes. And that's not sustainable. Against elite playoff opponents, 105 penalty yards will end seasons. Against disciplined teams, extra possessions won't always come back around. Johnson understands that the margin for error shrinks in January. If Chicago wants more than just a great regular season, if it wants a deep playoff run, it has to tighten up now. At 11 wins, the Bears sit atop the NFC North. They've proven they can win close games, respond under pressure, and deliver in the clutch. But their head coach is demanding more. He wants a team that doesn't need miracles to survive. A team that doesn't beat itself. A team that controls games from start to finish. The identity is there. The talent is there. The belief is there. Now, the discipline has to match it. This wasn't just another victory, it was a warning disguised as a celebration. The Bears showed heart. They showed toughness. They showed why they're one of the most dangerous teams in the league late. But Ben Johnson made it clear, if Chicago wants to keep winning, it can't rely on overtime heroics every week. Clean football. Smart decisions. Controlled emotions. That's the path forward. Because the playoffs won't be as forgiving. And that's the story behind the Bears' thrilling overtime win, equal parts triumph and wake-up call. If you want more NFL breakdowns, locker room insights, and real-time reactions, make sure you're locked in right here with NFL SnapWire. We'll see you in the next one.